sardines are brilliant.
They're so good.
Who's ever made sardines with walnuts and that's genius.
Sardines are
I think
unappreciated.
that when you concoct a recipe like that, that's writing. That's good writing. If I write a joke or a scene or a TV show, hey. I have to put things together, maybe words together that were never together before, but they have to go. Not everything works. So that's what I think of like a recipe, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's that these people they're kind of genius, don't you think?
Yes. So was Renee Erickson there? Did she come out and say hello to you?
She said hi to me. One of the perks of the gig is sometimes they send over a couple extra things.
Did anyone recognize you in the restaurant?
The chefs?
Well, besides the chefs.
Well, I don't know if the people did. I don't stand around going.
Well, thanks for being here. Everyone's super excited.
Oh, look at that.
I think we have our next presidential candidate kissing babies. Phil for president.
Well, I heard Kamala's in town, right? Maybe I'll talk to her. What is this? This is the town hall, right? Isn't it beautiful? I love it. You must be very proud.
Well, congrats on the beautiful book and the new season of the show, which just came out.
Yes.
And I read that we have Ray Romano to thank for inspiring the show. Is that true?
It is true. Between season 1 and 2 of Everybody Loves Raymond, this is back, we started in 1996, before many of you were born. and between season 1 and 2, we knew that we were going to get to come back and do another season. So I said, Ray, where are you going on your hiatus, on your vacation between season 1 and 2? He said, I go to the Jersey Shore. And I said, that's nice. Have you ever been to Europe? He said, nah. And I said, why not? He said, I'm not really interested in other cultures. And this is a 40-year-old man telling me this. So I thought, hey, we should do that episode. He goes, what do you mean? I said, we should send you over to Italy with that attitude. And you should come back as me, someone very excited about travel and food and the people in other cultures, Raymond. And it took us, I think, 5 seasons to get him over there. He didn't even want to go on a plane. But we did it, and the arc of the character that I wrote, that this Raymond gets woke in that journey, I saw happen to the person. I saw it happen to my friend Ray. He was like, Phil, have you tried this gelato? I'm like, it's so good. Yes. I said, yes, that they have that in Italy. He goes, there's another one. It was amazing. And that's when the real light bulb went off for me, because when you turn your friends or your family onto stuff that you like, what's a greater high than that, right? So I just thought someday maybe I could do this for other people. So Raymond lasted another 4 or 5 years, and then I tried to write other sitcoms. Nobody wanted them. The business had changed very much in those 9 years that we were on, and very blessed and very lucky to have those 9 years. But now, what was I going to do? And now I kept striking out. And to be fair, I didn't want the crap that they were asking me to write. Hey, just, we like how you write. Just make it hip and edgy. Make it hip and edgy. I said, well, you got the right guy on Mr. Hip and Edgy. And after years of trying, I said, what about this food and travel idea? Now I have to tell you, you have an agent?
No. I have a mom.
Am I? Same thing. I have to tell you that if you have had any success, like in sitcoms, and you go into your agent's office and say, you know what, I think I'd like to do a food and travel show now. They look at you as if you've pooped on their desk. And so it took 10 years to get the show. Yes. And people always ask me, is it worth it spending that, And I say, yes. Because look at me now. And the show, sometimes you have to struggle. And I'll tell you how I sold the show. I sold the show with one line. I said, I'm exactly like Anthony Bourdain if he was afraid of everything.
So I disagree with that. You're not afraid of everything. You try a lot of different foods, and you've gotten braver over the course of the show.
Gotten a little braver.
Like the scare trim diving?
Yes,
but very dangerous.
Very dangerous, you saw. But you start by being afraid, and then the more you're pushed a tiny bit out of your comfort zone, and conquer that fear. I mean, this is a cliche even. The braver you have to get because you've had now experience. Listen, one of the most horrifying things I think I ever had to do was eat an ant. Right? I'm from Queens. This ant came in a salad in Tokyo. I thought the restaurant called the Exterminator. And the lady next to me said, "No, you want to try this ant? It's very delicious." I said, "Really?" They said, "Yeah, it tastes like lemon." I said, "Oh, in that case, could I have some lemon?" And they said, "No, you got to try." And she put it in her mouth. I'm like, "All right, when the camera's on you too, there's a little pressure. You feel like they want you to do it." So I did it. It took all the courage I could muster to bite on this thing, and it made a little. Yes, it was in my head, that was the sound. But, damn if it didn't taste like someone put a drop of lemon on my tongue. And so now all the questions, do they base these in lemon? Is that why they said? No. These ants, not every ant, but these particular ants from this particular part of the forest in Japan, they taste like lemon. Who found this out the first time? Someone hungry?
Toddler, maybe?
Right. What's that line? It was a brave man who once ate an oyster.
Oh, there you go.
Right. And we like those. So maybe you like ants too. Okay, next time you're in Walsh and Carpenter, you ask them for the ants.
Now, I think one of the things that people love about the show is the sense of joy. I mean, you radiate it. And also, it's sort of absent of anything like politics or even the pandemic. But you did film during the pandemic.
We filmed in the sweet spot between Delta and Omicron.
And every time you share food, I get nervous. But there's a lot of like, "Oh, Richard, take a bite."
Well, it's just Richard.
Were you nervous about the show though? Thinking like,
of course.
"Oh, I should do this."
No, there's places, where the protocols are very strict, or were. In Santiago, when we landed in Santiago, Chile, first of all, we had to fill out a lot of paperwork beforehand and all be tested and verified and all that. And we have all that paperwork with us. We get off the plane, and now there's the lines of desks. The entire plane has to go through like this bureaucracy, stamping this and stamping that. And then they send you all to this wing of the airport where every single person is going to get retested, right? Some of these tests weren't so gentle. And then they send you to your hotel and you are to stay in your room until the results come back. It could be like 12 hours. Listen, at the beginning of the pandemic, people who went overseas, 3-week quarantine. So we couldn't film there. That's why you saw more American episodes this season, right? Usually we do 1 or 2. This time we did 3. But we also added an extra episode. Netflix was very generous and let me do a special tribute to my parents.
I wanted to talk about your parents. First of all, I'm very sorry for your loss. They seemed like amazing people. They were a huge part of the show, and
huge part of my life.
Yeah. And they were Holocaust survivors, which is amazing.
Yes.
How do you feel like that influenced the way that you grew up? Because you weren't a foodie family.
I think I was always a foodie. I was just not in an environment where that could flourish. They both worked, and they worked very hard, and they had 2 screaming idiots for children. And when my mom came home, she really didn't have the temperament or desire to cook. She was exhausted. You know how it is.
I also have 2 boys and have a job. I don't want to cook.
So, and again, we didn't have money. So, like I always said, in our house, meat was a punishment. It was the cheapest piece of meat, and then my mom would throw it in the oven. I think she had a setting for shoe. And so it was hard to chew it. Like, I remember being like 5 or 6 years old going, I don't want to eat it. You're going to finish that meat. When I was like in my 20s, some people said, we're going out tonight, we're going to a steakhouse. I said, ooh, who wants to go to a steakhouse? They said, no, this is a great place. I said, all right, I'll go, maybe I'll get something else. And the thing comes to the table, I go, that's steak? And I tasted it, I'm like, phew! Couldn't believe how great it was. Yeah.
So.
No, it's like, in The Wizard of Oz, when she opens the door, now the world is in color.
And you lived in New York after college.
I lived in New York,
and you saved all your money so that you could go out a couple times a year.
I couldn't afford, I was out of work person and having odd jobs, and I would save up though once a year because I was reading in the New York Times about these magical places called 4-star restaurants. I mean, places like Lutèce and Le Grand Louis and Le Côte Basque and Le Bernardin, everything with a Le. And on my birthday, I would save up enough. I would save up $100. In the 80s, it was $100 to eat. My parents thought I was a heroin addict. My parents thought I was absolutely insane to do this because it's so transient. Why would you spend money on it? And I tell them, it's like a vacation. I couldn't describe it because it is a great restaurant. It's like traveling for the night, isn't it? And so these things were just transporting and wonderful. And I had, a roommate who was just as stupid as me, and he would save up too, and we couldn't afford dates. So we would split one girl.
How does
we
that
could afford
work?
to bring one.
How does that work?
How to work?
Yeah.
Strictly platonic.
Okay.
And she got a free meal. So she was happy. But we did it every year, once a year, and it was just heaven. And I loved it because I was sharing this love with other people, and it's only fun if you can share it, I think.
And you also traveled a lot when you were young and in New York, and I think this is ingenious that did you get a job with DHL?
No, it was DHL, the DHL company that like FedEx sends the stuff around, but in the 80s, they were just starting out, so that what they would do is they would send their cargo as a passenger's excess baggage. That's how they got around it. So you would get a call the night before. You're going to Frankfurt tomorrow. You're gonna take the luggage tags, 30 of them. Just the luggage tags. They're gonna hand. You don't have to lift anything. You're allowed one carry-on, and you get to Frankfurt, and then you have 2 weeks to do what you want. And then 2 weeks later, you're gonna do that on the way back to New York. So I did this.
It's really ingenious.
And I went with $200 or $300 in my pocket the first time I was 23. I got to Frankfurt, got right on a train to Paris, met some friends, and boy, I had a croissant, game over.
Do you remember what else you had on that first trip besides the croissant?
Yeah, escargot, I tried. I guess that's brave, isn't it?
That's brave.
If you're in your 20s, but listen, it's just a vehicle for butter and garlic.
And then after that, you went to Italy.
And then from there, I went on to Italy. And I don't know if people saw that episode of I'll Have What Phil's Having, the Italy episode, but that's true. Thank you. That was true. What happened in that episode, I went from Paris overnight train, which I really recommend. Have you ever done that? It's so beautiful. Actually, you go through the Alps and you're sitting, they say, oh, would you like to have breakfast that's being served now in the dining car? And this, I was in, third class. I was, but that was open to everybody. You could go to the dining car. You go to the dining car, and it's not just a window here. It's a floor-to-ceiling window, and the Alps are going by. And you can't believe it. And you're getting food that's better than anything I ever had at home. And so, of course that changes you, but the real change was I met my friends who were in the third class compartment with me, kids my age, 23, guy and a girl, worked in the family bakery. They were just going out at the time. He spoke no English, she spoke a little English, Danya and Dario. And they gave me, I have a journal, and they drew pictures of what I should see in Florence when I get there. They drew the Duomo, as if I was going to miss the Duomo. And it was so cute. And of course, you get off the train, and there's the Duomo, right. And I put my bags down, I went right to their bakery. And the father there, their dad, this was 1983, he looks at me, he was so excited, an American boy is here. Can you imagine Americans being so loved and welcome? He says, America, John Wayne. He sits me down and gives me everything in the bakery. Every single thing he makes, he wanted me to try. He was so excited I was there. And then a lady from down the street came with a steaming bowl of pasta with sauce. And then somebody else came with a sandwich with meat. I sat there like a king, eating. I couldn't believe it. So how could you not fall in love with travel, and especially Italy, right?
Yeah, especially if people were just bringing you food. That sounds amazing.
I always say Italy is a very good place to start if you haven't traveled out of the country, because everywhere you look is beautiful, right? And everybody's food is delicious, and everybody's hugging and kissing you, so what's not to like?
Back to your parents for a minute. You mentioned this, that the sixth season has a tribute episode to your parents.
Yes.
And Netflix allowed you to put that together. What was that like to work on?
It's very sweet. I feel so lucky. First of all, I was lucky to be their son. And then I was lucky to make this thing with Richard. Wouldn't you do it? I mean, wouldn't we all do it if wouldn't you like to put together a beautiful package for the world to see of your parents if you had a deal with Netflix? That's where the luck comes in. You know, I got to do that. I think it's been pretty well received. I know it's my favorite episode. It's very personal, but I also found that everyone has a story and it's worth telling. We think that we have nothing to offer. It's my stupid life. Who cares? But I found a long time ago, by accident, even writing before Raymond, the more specific you get, right, and the more you can bring to the table from your experience, the more universal it is, not the less. It's not that, that's a unique experience, no one will relate to that. It's the complete opposite. That unique experience is the relatable thing, because we all have unique experiences and we all deal in details, and right? So always do things and pay attention to the details.
One of the recipes in the book is for your mom's matzo ball soup.
Yes.
And my mom, I mentioned her before, makes amazing chicken noodle soup, and that is what I ask for anytime she visits. She's coming next week, and I said, will you make your soup for me?
Great.
So it's that sort of thing, and you said it's the last food that you would want to eat before you die. Is that still true?
Well, yeah, I think I get asked this a lot. You know, let's say it's your last meal, and I thought about it, and it's childhood favorites. I would go back to childhood. I would have pizza, hot dogs, hamburgers, fried chicken, and then I think I would have a bowl of my mom's matzo ball soup, right? And then I would have her steak, and that would finish me. That's me.
So, the book is...
89's not so bad.
The book is a companion to the first 4 episodes of the show, and it has behind the scenes, facts, it has transcripts of your calls with your parents, and it also has recipes in it.
Yes.
So how did you choose which recipes to include?
These are the most requested, 60 of the most requested recipes from you, from fans who write to me, DM me on Instagram. I'm always there, by the way. Phil.Rosenthal, if you want to say hi. actually love it. And people said, can I have the recipe? By the way, the most requested recipe in this thing is something I showed exactly how to do it on the show. Not that. Oh, but that's a good one. But the
pork chop.
The pork chop in Venice.
That guy really likes
I
pork
feel like
chops.
Bruce Springsteen, and you people are wooing for my hit, Pork Chop. It's not a process show, right? It's not a cooking show.
Right, and you're not a chef.
I am
You
not.
make egg creams, though.
I inherited that. Yes, I can make an egg cream. I'll teach you all how to make it if you like. But we show it. All it is pounded pork chop, dredged in egg, and then the crispy things. What do you call them? Breadcrumbs. Yes. In the oil, in the frying pan. Bam, bam, bam. It's done. Drain off the oil. Add white wine vinegar. Let it go a little bit. Now, some magical thing happens where it has this tang. It's so simple, but it tastes complex because you get this almost lemony tang of flavor in this brilliant pork chop. We show the whole thing. What is the recipe for the pork chop? So, okay, it's
Has anyone here made that recipe yet?
how to come
How
out.
was it?
We actually made it from the show.
See? You paid attention. You don't need to fuck the book. For all the other things you do.
Pork chop was great.
Are you like a really good chef?
I mean, we cook a lot.
Yes.
Do you think you have, did you get the book already?
We are getting it tonight so we can see you. We saw it the other day at a cookbook shop you should visit here in Seattle called the Book Library.
Yes.
I did not buy it. You guys
Yes.
are getting it today.
I'm glad.
We're excited.
Well, there's everything from, a dope's recipe for an egg cream.
To Massimo Bottura, who's widely regarded the best chef in the world. His recipe, I put it as a joke. The 5 ages of Parmesan in different textures and temperatures. Whoever makes this recipe, please call me and you get a prize. Because you have to have a science lab in your house to make it. I mean, it's pages, this recipe. Ha ha ha, my joke. But everything else, I promise, very doable and very nice. 60. It's the best cookbook in the world, not because of me, but because the best chefs in the world we visit, and they gave us recipes.
And like the cow soy, I love cow soy.
Cow soy is one of my favorite things. I hope you'll make. Who's had cow soy in their life? Yes.
And you said that you ate more of that cow soy than you did any other
Yes.
meal.
Yes, the question I get most is, here was the question the other night. We had Q&A after, and sometimes children get up and they want to ask me a question. The little girl said, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yes, is that your question?" And she said, "No." She said, "How come you're not fat?" Valid question. So the secret is 2 things. First of all, you know how they make a dog food commercial? They don't feed the dog until the commercial. So I'm the dog. And I don't eat until the scene. And this is a week's worth of filming condensed into, less than an hour. And I don't finish anything. I take a bite, right? And then I notice the crew is looking at me like this. So it'd be evil not to give them some. So I give them some. It's really fun to see them, light up as if they've never been fed before. Except for the rare occasion where I feel like, wait a minute. This is so delicious. And when am I going to get to like Chiang Mai again? which is hours away even from Bangkok. You know, it's another flight. It's a trek to get there, and then they shot in the middle of literally nowhere, and this genius is making these things.
For $1.
And it's $1, my second favorite price. I mean, first came the chicken one. I ate the whole thing. The crew was like, and then they said, would you like the beef one? I said, gotta try it. And I ate that whole thing. Yes. Sometimes you have to.
I might make that one day.
You might make that.
Yeah.
I think you can. I don't think it's certainly not Parmesan and 5 food, but
I don't think I could even make an egg cream, to be honest. But we were talking about sardines earlier. It's one of my favorite foods.
when I see sardines on the menu, I always order it.
So good. Yeah, I love them. And fresh sardines, too. So you were in Lisbon, and you had some sardines there. And you wrote in the book that Lisbon is the place that people visit the most after watching the show. And the restaurant, the one with no railing, is the most visited restaurant. Is that still true? It looks amazing. I definitely
think it's
need
still,
to go.
every single day, I get many people writing to me that not only are they in Lisbon because they saw that episode, I don't know what it is about. Well, I do know what it is. Fantastic. Who's been to Lisbon? Right?
It was kind of New Jersey. This is so mean.
It was my joke. It was when you look at it.
It's never nice to call something the New Jersey of.
Yes. It didn't get the publicity that Spain. I called it the New Jersey of Spain. But that's a joke. But then I go, and it's like all the best of Europe in one place. You've been?
I've never been.
Oh, you gotta go.
Okay.
And then the food was great. Everything was great, and you actually felt like, I don't know if you guys felt this who went, that you could actually live there. It's very comfortable and very nice. A lot of Americans actually are moving. Yeah, they said enough of it. But wow, I loved it. And the Ponto Final is the restaurant we're talking about without the railing on its idyllic spot overlooking the city on the water. And so the next year I brought Monica to Lisbon because she wasn't with me when we filmed that episode. And I call Ponto Final. And they say, oh, Phil, I can't tell you how many people come because of the show. I said, that's so nice. I'd like to bring Monica. They said, we're full.
Sorry about that. I feel like I should say I'm also Jewish. I feel like Jewish people kind of share a thing. And my worst fear, because sometimes Jewish people have fears, is food poisoning. Yes. And you got food poisoning while shooting the show in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, I traveled the world. I got food poisoning in San Francisco.
But you address it in the book. So obviously people wanted to talk about it. They all want to know where you got it.
I'm not saying where I got it, because the truth is, with food poisoning, sometimes you don't know where you got it. And I ate it in 4 places that day. So I have no idea what it was. It could have been anything. I think I know where it is, but I can honestly tell you, it wasn't, I don't think, one of the places that we kept in the show.
Because sometimes you go a place and you don't include it if you don't love the food.
And I don't, people say, looks like you like everything. Yes, I like everything I put in the show. I'm trying to get you to travel. I'm trying to show you the best of everything. Why would I put it? Like, here's a man. He's been cooking this dish for 50 years. He put his whole life in it. Phil, will you try it? Guess, how is it then?
That's nice.
I'm not out to ruin your business, right?
I hope everyone has had a chance to watch season 6. And you go to Croatia in season 6. And you
watch it? Is that
I feel like Croatia is like your new Lisbon. You were so surprised
exactly
about it.
Right.
What was it that you were surprised about?
Well,
I also haven't been there.
You expect, like, what you're told. War-torn former Yugoslavia. Because it was in the 90s. And I guess time went by like this, because you get there, and it's Italy. It's gorgeous. It's like Italy crossed with Greece. It's where Western and Eastern European cultures meet, and where you get the best food from Eastern Europe and the best food from West. You get the pasta of your life, the gelato of your life. And then you're island hopping. It's spectacular. I recommend it.
That looks amazing. So you work with your family a lot.
Yes.
You bring them on the show.
Yes.
You work with your brother.
I do.
And you have an upcoming project with your daughter. Is that right?
That's right. Lily, are you here?
Yes,
Where's
she
Lily?
is. I saw her.
Oh, look, it's Lily! We're going to write a children's book about a father who eats everything and a daughter who won't try anything. Little girl, and it's called Just Try It. Yes. I need the show to be picked up by Netflix. You can call them. I don't know what it's going to be. I think it's going well, but I never know. They actually said, I heard this thing that they want to see that people complete the series. This is now a thing, like complete the season. So if you go home tonight, put on the Philadelphia episode. That's the first episode of season 6. Just leave it on. You don't have to watch. You can come back and watch when you want, but let that register for Mr. Algorithm.
So we're going to make things a little wild here. We're going to do virtual questions from this iPad that I have, and then we're going to invite people to actually ask live questions.
I want to talk to the people too.
So we'll figure out, you can either shout or you can borrow a microphone.
Yes.
So I'm going to read a question first, and don't feel shy, just come on up.
Come up.
Come up.
Don't
Okay.
come up. You know what you're starting.
The
But you can raise your hand and call me. You talk loud. It's because I can do it, right? You can hear me.
So the first question, the virtual question,
Yes.
is, hi, I'm Holden, and I'm 12, and love all kinds of food. What was your favorite dish when you were young?
Oh, that's nice. Is Holden here? Let me see. Stand up, Holden. Show the people your shirt. Turn around, Holden. You want to know what my favorite food is to eat?
Yes. When you were younger.
When I was younger, I used to bet, don't tell. It shouldn't get out. I used to beg to go to McDonald's. I just wanted food with some flavor. But I don't recommend a steady diet of this. It's amazing I'm alive, Holden, because I ate the most junk food. I would come home from school, I would eat, I don't know if Oreos are still sold this way, but they used to sell them in sleeves, like a sleeve, right? There would be 3 sleeves in a box. I could eat a sleeve. Yes. And I was just protecting myself from Mom's dinner. Yeah. What's your favorite food?
I love brown rice and gnocchi.
What? Brown butter gnocchi? Can I have your mom? He's having brown butter gnocchi. I'm begging for a Big Mac.
Do we have any audience questions? Oh, person back there with the red hat. Stand up and talk loud, please.
Hi.
Since you're in the entertainment industry and movies and TV, do you have a favorite fictional meal or food from a movie or show you would like to share?
You ever see a movie called Batman's Feast? I'd like that feast, please. That looked very good to me. I would go to jail if Paul Sorvino would shave garlic for me. That was very good. Why? Is there one that comes to your mind?
I always think about El Royale cheese from Pulp Fiction.
That's like a Big Mac, isn't it?
Just having a dinner with Andre, like this little
Yes, my dinner with Andre, yes. Too much talking. I wanted more dinner when I saw that movie. Thank you, my friend.
I'm going to do a virtual question.
Do it.
Because these people, they follow directions.
Yes.
This person wants to know, on your travels, is there a certain souvenir that you collect?
You know the little bottles of shampoo that are in the hotel? By the way, you find a good one, it's like, but by the way, I'm not even kidding. When you love the place, it's a memory. The smell of the shampoo or the soap, right? I don't steal them all. Just the very special ones, you know? Like if you're on your honeymoon, you take the soap. So you remember your honeymoon. When I smelled nice. Here's the thing about souvenirs. I want to bring back something for the family, obviously. Little tchotchkes, whatever it is, like everybody else. But I find that, let's say you have like the best wine you ever had. You're in Italy, you're having the wine. Oh my God, this is the best wine. And I'm buying a case and I'm going to pay whatever it costs to ship it to the United States. Against the United States. You open it. Here it is, the wine. Let's have it tonight. Here we go. We open it. It's all right. Because you're not there. You have to be there. I think your physical, literal taste is affected by what you're seeing, what you're smelling, what you're hearing, what you're feeling. Literally affects your sense of taste. It's all connected.
And the experience of, I know people say like it's the best thing. And there's no best.
Yes. So yes, these are souvenirs. The wine might remind you of the thing, but it's not going to be the same. I just spilled water all over.
Audience question? Right there in the second row.
Hey Phil, Laura and I, what we really enjoyed about your show is the facial expressions that you share with us when you eat a really good meal. So you mentioned earlier that sometimes there's some meals that don't make it to the show. What's the chances of us seeing your facial expressions?
Yes, well, you want to be polite, but there are sometimes I was blessed or cursed with this face. I can't play poker. So there's a scene, I think it's in Santiago, Chile, where the man gives me something called puree. And I put the whole thing in my mouth because I'm an idiot. And I think you can see what happens when you do that. And I couldn't hide it. I said to him, wow, that's very strong, I think I said. And he goes, it's like a punch in the face, isn't it? Yes, it is like a punch in the face. Thank you, chef, for that punch in the face. Maybe you'd like to kick me in the butt now.
It's not about that show.
Well, thanks.
When you had the hot chicken in Nashville in season 6, you were visibly sweating.
I was having the hot chicken, and let me tell you something. I'll tell you that this wasn't in the show. We ran the gamut. I don't know if you've seen that one yet, but you should be binging it tonight. I go with my son Ben, and we try the hot chicken. We tried everything from mild to hot, and then they saw that we could handle it, so they gave us black latex gloves for extra hot. This is notoriously one of the spiciest foods on the earth. And damn, if I could do it. I had it like 2 or 3 bites. And so did my son. And it was all right. I was sweating, but I could do it. Cut to 2 hours later. I'm in the front seat of the car. We have a driver. My family, Monica, Ben, and Lily, are in the back seat. And I don't want to alarm them. But my chest is tightening. And I'm a little scared. And I'm about to, I hold on as long as I can, and I'm about to say to the driver, let's pull over at the next hospital. But before I did that, I had the good sense to look at my phone and Google difference between heartburn and heart attack. And I tell you, this is a public service now. Chest tightening is a symptom of both heartburn and heart attack. But if you are having a heart attack, your left arm will also hurt, you will sweat profusely, and you will have trouble breathing. So thank God I saw that, because I didn't have those other symptoms, and I just know if I went to a hospital in Nashville complaining about my chest, the first question would be, have you been to Prince's Hot Chicken? Get the hell out of here.
We're going to do a hybrid audience virtual question. There is a 15-year-old in the audience named Indigo. It is Indigo's birthday today. Is Indigo here? And
Where
coming
is
is, oh, hi.
Right here, happy birthday.
Wow. This is Indigo's birthday present. Do you have a question you want to ask? I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
We wrote one. It was just, where would you, when are you filming in Seattle? It was already answered. It was already answered.
I don't want you to feel ashamed of your question.
Well, it's my fault.
Good question.
I should have let someone
And I'm going to
else
film
do it.
in Seattle as soon as I can. Maybe you'll be in the show too.
We have an audience member right there by the pillar.
Would you rather have a spicy chicken or puree?
Spicy chicken. What would you rather have? By the way, you know what they told me online, my friends online, when they saw that, I think I posted that clip of eating that puree, they said, I think I say in the scene, I can't put my finger on what this flavor is. I don't know what this flavor is. And people from Chile answered me. Puree is very rich in iodine. Iodine. Yes, it was like I drank a bottle of iodine. Say again?
Chile.
You are. Have you had puree?
Yes.
And have you had as big a piece as I had by itself? Because you're smart. No, you have a little bit, right? And then you put a lot of lemon or lime and cilantro and everything to cover up the taste of the food. But I loved a lot of the food. The seafood in Chile is gorgeous and great, except for that one thing. Thank you. Did you have another question? No? You're still standing? Okay.
The man with the glasses, you had your hand up. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's a little person.
So I just watched the second episode of the Curry Show last night, and I was surprised that Gilbert Gottfried had a cameo in it. So it hit me, wow, this film is pretty far ahead in advance. So I think I know the answer now, if we respond to our questions about Seattle, but what is the production schedule like when you go and film versus when it releases? And do you have anything that's cooking up that's unreleased? Because it's in cities that haven't been released yet in good shows?
No. We film probably 6 months to a year from when you see them. Yeah, we're way ahead. And it has to do with kind of, I guess, the nature of filming and then editing. You need months to edit everything. We spend about 3 months per episode from beginning to end. We're doing multiple episodes at the same time. We film 2 seasons all in a row. It takes about 3 weeks out of the month, because it's a weekend episode, right? So 3, that's 6, that's so 4 months to film 2 seasons. And then Netflix gets it and they split it usually in 5 episode seasons, and then you have to wait 4 or 5 or 6 months, then they drop the next 5. So Croatia, for example, was a year ago. Yeah.
I have a good idea.
And Gilbert Gottfried sadly has passed since then. But what a great guy. I was lucky to have him in the show. Yeah. Thank you. We don't have time to hear that, but thank you.
Also, you can listen to the podcast if you want to tide yourself over between seasons.
Very good. My friend David Wild is a great writer, and he's my buddy. He's been my buddy for over 25 years, and we've been having lunches with famous, great friends of ours, and we love them so much. And always, but after lunch, I would say we should be taping this, and so now we are. And this is David Wild. He's right over here. Look at him. Say hi, David. Tell your friends, Naked Lunch Podcast. Thank God it's audio only.
The woman in the second row. Yes, you.
Will you just give us a little come on, my say?
You're asking me to come on to you? Is this allowed in Seattle? You just want me to say, come on!
And the person...
I do feel like Springsteen.
The person waiting so patiently with the white mask.
So, I've noticed that sometimes when you get really great food, you do like a sort of happiness, which is referenced in the intro, and I've started doing the same. And I was wondering.
That's so nice. I'm going to sue you. What?
I was wondering if you could do the dance.
No. Dance for me, monkey. If I had something to eat, maybe. Now people come with the...
Does the looks like little girl in the pink headband have a question? Right? Yes?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, dear. Is that the question? Do I like mac and cheese? Yes, do you have any with you? She went away.
The person right there.
Who doesn't like mac and cheese? Do you like mac and cheese? Yeah!
Gray sweatshirt with the black, yes, you.
We are two members of the Covenant and Max Banquet. I want to know what was it. We know Max's favorite food was fluffy eggs.
Fluffy eggs, yes. Oh, she liked a lot of things. She loved, the first thing that's coming to mind, her favorite dessert was this thing from France called marron glacé. Do you know what that is? It's a chestnut coated in sugar. She loved that. Yeah, she liked a lot of things. Yeah. She didn't care about really fancy foods, but that was one that she liked. That was a dozen. Oh, and she loved mangoes. She loved mangoes. She never did. You know what a mangosteen is, right? Jewish mango.
Okay, two more questions. Black sweatshirt right there. Yes, you.
Do you plan on going to like West Africa in the future because you like spicy food?
I do want to go to West Africa. I want to do. I've only done Cape Town, and I've only done Marrakesh. I need to really go to Africa. I want to even do a safari episode. Yeah, I could see my brother pushing me out of the truck in the middle of the... Go to Ghana. Thank you. Okay. That's a good tip.
Okay,
Thank you.
Last question.
Last question?
Do you want to do a couple more?
I take a few more. Look at the nice
Okay,
people.
good. I just want to make sure. Woman in the second row that's making eye contact with me. Yes. I'm such a sucker.
Hello, Phil. Welcome
Hello,
to
Dee.
Seattle. You know, when I watch your shows on Netflix, and I watch the whole series,
Thank you.
keep it on.
Thank you.
I smile from ear to ear because what I see is your love for community, the connections you make with families, and just like how authentic you are in truly respecting the culture. So, thank you for that. What is a memory or some memories that you have that were just so impactful country that you'd like to share with us today?
It happens every time, so it's hard to pick one. It's my favorite thing about doing the show, because it's not really a food show. You know, I love I always say at the end of the show, it's boring already. It's the people, it's the people, it's the people. And I just found that we all need to eat, so that connects us. And I always say, food is the great connector, and then laughs are the cement. Yeah. My second favorite thing is this, coming to see you guys and see who wouldn't like this, that you're actually shouting foods that you've seen on the show, or telling me to say something I've said on the show. It's crazy to me. This is all surreal. So thanks, everybody. Yes, more?
More?
Come on, more.
Oh, okay.
Heard this yesterday.
I just lost control. Go
ahead.
Please.
As an advocate. Wow! You know, I've never been, I still haven't been to Vancouver. I'm dying to go there.
Seattle first and then Vancouver.
Okay. Yes.
But my question is, there anywhere on the top of your list for your next season? Like what country do you really want to go to?
I think we settled it. I think it's Seattle. Outside of India. India and most of Africa and you know, New Zealand. I haven't been there yet, and there's I've only scratched the surface of the earth. Yes. Where would you like me to go?
I don't know. All the places on there already. I want to go.
Great.
So,
Great.
now the pandemic is over, starting to make those plans.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the next two. We have tie-dye shirt right there, and then after maroon shirt with the white mask. So tie-dye shirt, you're first.
We were having such a nice time. This is the exact same feeling I had when I was 5, and my parents brought something home from the hospital.
Okay, we're gonna move on. The person with the maroon shirt that just took their mask off, it's okay that way.
Oh, so many things. I love the Zuni chicken from the Zuni Cafe. Was that in the show? It wasn't in the show. I love the Sundays at Ghirardelli. I used to take the kids there a lot. I love Swan's Oyster Depot. I love that. That's in the show, right? Forgot what else is in the show. From Tartine Bakery. Come on. That's that chocolate croissant. Did you ever have that? Not so bad. Say again? Oh, very nice. How come you're not fat?
The man with the blue shirt, oh sorry, and the glasses, yes you.
Hello.
Hi.
First of all, my wife here is from Turkey, and she's from Istanbul, and we can't believe you've never been to Istanbul, first of all.
Stop yelling at me, first of all. Second of all, I really want to go to Istanbul. I can't wait to go to Istanbul.
As a Jewish American and an Istanbulite, we'd love to show you around.
All right, stop yelling.
My name is Richard, and I'm a younger brother too.
Yes?
Secondly, the question though is, what city do most people come up to and say, you have to go? Like, we immediately just have to go.
Mostly it's annoying people from Istanbul. Poor people, they've only seen the back of my neck.
The person with the merch on, black sweatshirt. Yes, you. Pasta, pork, chicken, and lamb.
Pasta, pork, chicken, and lamb. Come to the front, please. Oh well, listen, you gotta talk about Anthony Bourdain. He changed. I meant what I said. That my just the listen. He reinvented an entire genre. Everybody who travels or eats owes a debt to Anthony Bourdain, right? And I'll tell you something. I don't know if you know this. So when they asked me what production company I'd like to use when I was starting, I said, why don't we call Anthony Bourdain's production company ZPZ, 0.0 Productions in New York, and let's use them. And so we do. And I get the benefits of his 18 years of being on the air because he had fixers over all those years. Fixers mean the people who fix you up with the chefs and the locations all over the world. So I get the advantage of that because of him. So I'm just, a follower, a disciple, a stupid one, but yes.
That blue hooded sweatshirt.
Blue, you stuck out. Blue shirt. Take your mask down for a second. It's all right. Yeah. Because I'm a doctor.
What's your least favorite food?
Puree's up there.
What's your favorite place on earth?
Favorite place on earth? I could say Seattle and get cheap applause, but I'm going to say Italy. Italy. Have you been there yet? You like it? Yeah, it's fun.
And do one more question?
One more for the people.
How about the person in the black sweatshirt right there? Yes, you.
Have I ever visited Japan and gone on a what? Did you hear that? A Hello Kitty train. No, because I'm 62. Maybe I'll take my granddaughter.
You can never be too old, Phil.
You're right. And you know what I say? Travel now while everything still works, right? We will never be as young as you are right now. So go, do it. I'm going to take a picture with you, nice people. I love you. Thank you for coming.
Please follow the directions of the staff.